Today the sun will rise. Tonight the sun will set. Somewhere in between, may we find the time to honor our veterans. For today is no ordinary day. Today is Memorial Day. Today I honor a very special veteran, my great uncle, First Lieutenant Joseph T. O'Donnell. Joe was born July 23, 1922, the only boy of 6 children. He was the younger brother of my grandmother Rita O'Donnell Fries. On October 13, 1951, when he was but 29 years old, Joseph was killed in action on Heartbreak Ridge, Korea. He was then laid to rest at Cypress Hills Cemetery in Brooklyn, New York. And though 69 years have passed, the pain still lingers. Joe served for 3.5 years during World War II's famous Battle of the Bulge in the 325th Glider Infantry Regiment, 82nd Airborne Division. There is a letter from Joe that describes how he survived a heated battle in Belgium. Joe was under heavy fire and was saved by a bullet-ridden piece of wood, which served as his protection. Other letters of his recall battles in which he sat for 3 hours in the cold snow, soaking wet in freezing temperatures. He tells how every time he lifted his head to look around, an enemy rifle shot would pass by. This narrow escape from death must have been very frightening for him. After his service in World War II, Joe was once again ordered back to service in the Korean War. Joe's mother, my great-grandmother, Margaret Coleman O'Donnell, wrote letters to the military requesting that her son Joe be spared from further service in Korea. This letter would ultimately fall on deaf ears. The night before Joe left for Korea, he and his wife Marie stayed up all night talking. It is understandable that they wanted to spend every possible moment together, as they both knew there was a possibility that Joe might not return. My Aunt Mary, being 6 years old at the time, recalls the solemn day when Joe was dropped off at LaGuardia Airport. To this day, whenever Mary passes LaGuardia Airport, she would experience deep feelings of loss resulting from the memory of that day. On the day he died, Lieutenant O'Donnell led the platoon in an attack on Hill 1100. After a brief firefight, he and his men pulled back. During the retreat, Joe followed along the ridge when an enemy mortar round wounded him fatally. Joe was then carried behind a rock while a medic attempted to help him. But despite his effort, Joe died in his arms. When the news of Joe's death arrived to his sister, my grandmother Rita, both my father and aunt remember the painful memory of Rita running into the street screaming. My grandfather, Charles Fries, writes in a letter how Rita, my grandmother, wished she could just wake up and find that she had only been dreaming. The letter goes on further to say, "It will be a long time before the family gets back to normal living." Joe was, and forever will be remembered, as being a remarkably kind and sensitive young man, who outwardly did not appear to be the brave warrior who in reality he actually was. The memories of this event dwindle with the passing of years as those who were old enough to remember are no longer with us. For those who are still with us, there are only vague memories of a grief and suffering during this event in their childhood. One such memory was the solemn event of kneeling and praying the Holy Rosary as a family in the living room of Marie and Joe's apartment on Linden Street in Brooklyn. Though it took me but minutes to describe this event on October 13th, 1951, it would take much more to describe the monumental loss felt by Joe's family. Joe was survived by his wife Marie and two children, Sharon, then 6 years old, and Diane, then 3 years old. Today, Joe, we pause to remember you, to celebrate your life and honor your sacrifice. Though 69 years have passed since your death, the pain of your loss has never subsided. To you and all veterans, we offer up this prayer on Memorial Day 2020.
Land of the noble free.